Hello. It's another Wednesday, cold Wednesday night here in Indiana, and we're doing our CNC hangout as we usually do every Wednesday. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and next to me is
I am Kate Tucker with Women Who CNC. How is everybody?
yeah.
Wednesday evening.
Put in the comments. Are you warm or are you cold?
Woo, I know there's a
It's
big, I was watching the weather a little bit today. I think there's a big winter storm supposed to move in, but I think us, like here in the Midwest, I think we're supposed to get more rain than snow, is what I saw. So I don't know.
yeah. It's been raining here. I don't know about where you're at. Kate's about an hour and a half north of me, and
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
been like rainy, wet, yucky. Like the ground either needs to freeze or it needs to dry, because I'm getting a little tired of like my animals dragging in all the dirt and the mud. It's like freeze or
All right.
dry. Pick your poison.
Right.
So
Okay, brothers and sisters. Tonight is another Wednesday where we're going to hang out and chew the CNC fat. Just to launch off with the ground rules that we tend to work with is first of all, there's a zero tolerance policy here. We kick people out when they get irate, nasty, and counterproductive. It's
yes.
just this is a creative space where we help each other. And Kate, what about the questions and the timing?
Yeah, sure. So questions, we have a lot of people that have been joining in on these lives lately. So we have a cutoff time at 9 p.m. So if you have questions, um, I would suggest for next week, even if you want to come back next week, write some questions down, and then that way you can jump in here early, get those questions posted early, and then we can get those answered for you. So that's one great suggestion I thought I would throw out there. But for anybody who is on the regular, 9 p.m. is our cutoff time. We do try to answer as many questions as we can. But if you do happen to comment after that 9 p.m. mark, I'm sorry, we probably will not get to your question this week. So make sure to show up early. Um, Garrett and I both try to post this link relatively early in the day, like sometime like 9, 10, around 10 a.m. in the morning. So if you're up and moving around that time, then hop on YouTube and get those questions in. So I second what Garrett has said. Sorry, I have a cold. What Garrett had said about the zero tolerance policy. We just do not put up with any nonsense here on this channel. This is a creative space. It is a place for people to ask questions and to learn, and we will not tolerate it. Julianne, as you guys know, is Garrett's IDC Woodcraft coordinator, and she is in the background. She will boot you out. There, she is watching. She is taking care of us. So behave, be mindful, and be kind. Just be kind. It's not hard to
Yeah,
do. So
yeah. Those two words: be kind, be kind.
be kind. There it is.
All right. Okay, so brothers and sisters, also in the background, we have Julianne, who Kate just shared, and so we'll bring her out. So you can say hello. Here you come, Julianne. Say hi. She
Hello,
is
everyone.
so Julianne is, as Kate said, the administrator for IDC Woodcraft, and so she takes care of all the technical stuff in the background, keeps the business a business for us, and does all this kind of stuff. And of course, we have Liberty, who is on the sidelines chatting with you when she gets home. She is running a little bit late tonight, but so Julianne. Everyone say hi to Julianne, and she'll be in the background listening and watching for all your questions and get them checked off for us. All right. Here we go. All
Yeah.
right, so let's dive right into some CNC questions and see if we can answer some. Now, Julianne was reviewing some of the questions that were coming up early for those who are coming on board early, and there's been some dialogue, and some of those questions have already been answered by the community, which is so amazing that we are all here to help like that. So those questions we are not going to take care of because community took care of it. I love
Yep.
this place, Kate. I love this place.
No, I do too. We do. We have a lot of great members, and it's so awesome because if you are new to the Wednesday Night Live, first off, I want to say welcome on behalf of both Garrett and myself. But secondly, if you do have a question that's after that 9 p.m. mark, just say, "Hey, everyone," or whatever, and those people will definitely help you out. This group of people right here are so awesome. They show up week after week, and they have so much um, incredible advice. Because even when Garrett and I don't know something, we have people showing up in the comments to help those other people out. So I love that about you guys. Thank you for doing that. Um, and again, I just want to apologize for my raspy voice tonight. I've got some hot tea here, so if you see me sipping on that, um, just trying to keep my voice from fading entirely. So, all right. So, are you ready to jump in with some questions, or do you have any
Yeah,
announcements or
yeah.
anything?
I'll just say a couple things. First of all, I have put out feelers to the community. Do you want a course on how to start a CNC business? The overwhelming response was yes. So I am going to start working on that. It's going to be about a month or two. But it's going to be my major focus. That's one thing. The second thing is the Badger. You guys killed us. And when we released the Badger, oh my God, we got run out again. But fortunately, the vendor they're making them, right, because the demand was so high. And so they've shipped out a few to us. So we've got a few in stock. If you did not get the Badger, you can dive into it now. But yeah, we were solidly working for a week. So for those of you who are delayed in getting your shipment, trust me, it was hairy.
Well, I have seen so many posts in all the groups. I've seen them in Onefinity. I've seen them in even the Vectric groups. I've seen them in my Women Who CNC Facebook group. I've seen them the CNC entrepreneurs. All the Badger packages have, like, always know, like, when there's a new bit, because it's like all the packages start flooding out with the M&Ms and the stickers and all the good stuff. So I just love seeing that. It makes me kind of smile every time, because it just reminds me of how hard the girls are working, or not girls, the women are working in the background to get all that stuff out to you guys. They're just doing a phenomenal job. So
Let's put it this way: they did 10-hour days for 6 days straight.
that's
And
a lot of hours.
here's how cool of a team that IDC has. These guys did it on their own accord. Right.
That's awesome.
All right, let's say
That
some
takes a
a
lot
few
of
quick
output.
hellos. Yeah, let's say a few quick hellos, Kate, to some of our creators, and let's get into the questions.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. So hold on. I was down a little ways in the group, so my computer's like catching up. I had to scroll back up to the very top here. Okay, so the first person that I see is Bruce Oswald at 1210. I'm not sure if he's the first person, because sometimes on my end and like what you guys can see separately might be a little different. So
Yeah, I saw Jack.
you
I
saw
saw
Jeff,
Jack.
or okay, so
Yeah.
Jack was our first place winner for tonight. So congratulations, Jack. Um, Kudos to you. All right, so we've got Bruce, we have RW Spike Jones from Texas, we have Ellen, Chris, let's see, Tom WXX is back. We've got Carolyn. Oh, let's see, Roland, Jack in the Shop, of course. Wayne. Let me see who else.
We got brother Mark Lindsay on board as well.
Oh, okay, I didn't see Mark hop on yet. So
Oh,
I
Mark.
believe it's Harold from the yard sale. Am I remembering his name correctly? Harold or Howard? I think it's Harold.
Yeah, that's Harold. Harold.
Harold. Okay. All right. Welcome, Harold. Let's see.
Ellen WXXRYY.
Yeah,
Carolyn, she got her Badger today.
yeah, I see Chris. It says he's from the PA suburbs. Dwight Ferguson, he got his Badger today. We've got Bobby Kim. You guys are just chatting it up out here. I gotta do a little scrolling right now. We got Bill's Woodworks,
Dwight.
Travis, Randy B, William, Dion. Hey, brother. He's been busy bee. We've got Vortex, Willie, Jim Pitts, James, Jeremy, George. My goodness, y'all have.
Oh my God, you're running us out. We can spend the entire show saying hi to people.
I know. It's been a long. Oh, okay. Here I see our buddy right here. Evening, y'all. Snowing in Southern Oregon tonight. Y'all east of us need to duck. Here it comes. Oh boy. Oh
Keep
boy.
it.
Well,
Keep it,
hi
Mark. It's
Mark.
all yours.
Yeah, if you guys
All right.
don't know Mark Lindsay, he is He is another incredible creator here on YouTube. Wealth of knowledge. If you guys are not familiar with Mark Lindsay, go check out his channel. You will not regret hitting subscribe on that platform there. So, all right. Well, with that, I think we have some questions.
Yeah. And
Ralph.
we got a couple donations as well already. What?
Yeah. Oh
So,
my gosh. Yeah, we do. I just saw
yeah.
those there. So we've got Willie Pinkston, $20. Thank you, Willie. Very generous of you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And
Very, very generous.
Ellen has also contributed.
My education and your time. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
sister.
You know what?
We
What a
love that.
wonderful way of putting it. And that's the heart of what we do, right? We are
Yeah.
teachers. Kate and I are both teachers. That's in our heart. So thank you,
Yeah.
Ellen. We got another one.
Speak.
Bruce. Oh, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, we've got Bruce. These are they just kind of sneak up on me. Bruce Oswald, $20. Let's start the year right. Bruce, I
Yes.
love your attitude, brother. That's fantastic.
You know what Kate said to me? She texted me yesterday. She said, 2024 is going to be my year. You go for it, sister. But
Yes.
Bruce, thank you. Thank you so much. And we got another one, Dwight.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Super sticker.
Dwight, thank you, Dwight. Very nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. We so appreciate that. You guys are so generous. We love that. That just helps us keep doing what we're doing, and it just makes. I mean, we show up every week regardless of the donations, but they definitely are much appreciated. So thank you all so much.
It lets us know we're doing the right thing. The donations help people are doing this. It's their way of saying thank you. And on the IDC Woodcraft channel, down below the video, there's a money button or super sticker button. You can press that and contribute to us. And that's just a way of saying thank you. And we do really appreciate it. Kate, we got to go out and have a burger and a beer together and cheer all our CNC brothers and sisters.
Yes, we do. I would love that.
And maybe we'll even just do it live.
Ooh.
Put it in the comments. Should we have a sit down at the restaurant live session? All right.
Oh my God, I do not want to be live on YouTube. That would be terrible. That would be terrible. Look, Julianne's like, "What are you? Just stop." No.
All right.
No, we can have we can have a fun live. Definitely. We're known for that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ralph, brother, you are going to call me out right first. Question of the evening. God love you, sir. Question: what's the status on the epoxy table? The epoxy table is still sitting here. It is staring at me every day. I have been. Life's been a little crazy. Garrett had the release of the Badger. We had the holidays. We had all the good stuff. Definitely don't want to make excuses because that is not how I'm starting out my new year. But life has been exceptionally hectic. And then my whole family was sick. My son that was visiting home from Hawaii. He actually brought his longtime girlfriend with him, and they both were sick when they arrived. So we have been weathering the flu since they left for running through there. But the epoxy table is first thing on my docket to get done and get knocked out because I've got to get this thing out of my shop, y'all. I've got to get it done.
Out of your sight.
Yes.
It's one of those things that catches up, blindsides you, and you have to sit back and chew on it for a while to figure out how to get out of that hole.
Yeah, it really does. And it's just like, that is one of my main goals. Like, I know we talked a little bit last week about business stuff, but that is one of my main goals for this year is to stay focused on the projects that need to be done and work in order, because I'm notorious, like every other like woodworker, anybody that has a shop of anything, you start one project and you have 10 others already in the backlog, and you're like, and then you just don't finish. So it's kind of like the epoxy table, like, was great, and then it led into like November, end of October, November, December, which is like my busiest time of the year. So it just has been chilling like a villain, but it's coming. All right, let's see who else we got next. All right, Mr. G, jumping in the early line here, and hello to all CNCers. When and how should I be doing a separate last pass feature in Vectric V-Carve? See you in a few hours, Mr. G. All right, I have been doing a lot of talking. Do you want to take this one?
So when and how should I be using this to the second separate last pass? So the separate last pass is when you want to do a little finish work on it. I've only used it a couple times, but as I understand it, what it does is when you want to make sure you get a good finish on your project, right? If you're doing a cutout, or yeah, generally it's a cutout. Is that correct, Kate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Usually you're doing
So
either pocket, profile, whatever you're cutting.
yeah, when you want a clean final finish on it, the separate last pass is going to offset your router bit just a little bit away from it, and then the final pass that comes around is going to clean that up, and it's going to move in against the line to where it's got to go. Am I explaining that well enough?
Well, the way that I understand it is when you, let's say you're doing, like you said, a profile cut, and you're cutting all the way down through this is my understanding, and please correct us if we are wrong, um, is like, say you're cutting at 0.75, instead of just adding like 0.752, you can use that last pass in the edit passes feature, and it will actually add that, 0.02 or 0.002 or whatever you want to add to the depth of the cut. So the router bit just comes just like a step down further, and then kind of cleans that up. That's how I've understood it. I guess I didn't
Yeah,
think about it moving in.
I think you're right. Okay, so forgive me for not being totally
No,
on
I mean,
board on that one. Well, I'm
that's what I
apologizing,
understood,
but
but
yeah, I'm looking at at Vectric right now, and let's bring up what I've got. There it is. And so I made this sign here today. I am unstoppable.
love it.
Okay. I'm always about positive affirmations. And I believe that whenever we're creating something, we should create something for ourselves to let us know I am a creator. I am something. But anyway, over on the side, it says do separate last pass. And when I check it, it gives me an allowance. So that allowance is what I'm doing is I'm looking at the little image they have there. And that image is stepped down. So I believe you're right. It's going to come down. It's going to do its depth, and the allowance would be the last thickness. Mark should be on board. And Mark, if you would take a minute to just give a little deeper explanation on that. He's the one that can answer that one much better than we can.
Yeah, I was actually thinking it was under, so like where you set your, if you don't mind, pop open Vectric one more time.
Okay, well,
'Cause
Mark's got a comment here, right? Comments
Oh,
popped up. I use a separate last pass with the allowance of 0.01 inches on almost all profile cutout tool paths.
yeah. So
So,
he's just stepping down a little bit further.
Yeah. This is saying what it's doing is you're doing all the work going around it, and you're just leaving a little bit left, whatever you set it to, and then it'll come back and just do that final little cutout. So, and you can also reverse the direction. So if you're doing it in a conventional cut and you want to go into a climb cut, you can tell it's reverse direction. Thank you for finding that, Julianne. I believe she's the one that popped that in.
Ah, very cool. All right. This is from Simon. He says the spindle is struggling and stalled twice. I'm not sure if this was oh, okay, Julian's helping us out here. She says feed and plunge were super slow, about 10 millimeters per second, I believe. Plunge even slower and ramped it in, kept the spindle at 18,000 RPM. Should it be slow? I think there's got to be maybe a little bit more.
18,000 RPMs. If it's 1,800 RPMs, first of all, that's too slow.
Yeah, I was assuming he meant 18,000, but
yeah,
he could. I mean, 1,800 is. I don't even think the routers or spindle would go that low. Do you?
Right. So 10 millimeters per second. That's just shy of a half an inch per second.
Plus, it
The
depends on
spindle,
what bit you're using too.
the bit, and it also depends on the power of the spindle. All right, if you have I'm not totally up on the spindle. Julian's just keep popping them in for us, right?
Yeah, she
Uh,
says that he says, "Hi, I am trying to use a large cutter and a spindle to cut a profile into a hardwood ingrained board. The profile cutter is 65 millimeter inches wide, and I'm cutting into the board 7 millimeters deep."
okay, so 65 is 2.5 inches, and the 7 millimeters deep is that's a quarter of an inch. So with such a wide bit, it's doing a really wide berth. There's a lot of resistance, and the spindle is unable to handle that workload. So what I would recommend is, if you when spindles are designed to compensate their power. So if you bring unlike the Makita router here, if you turn the speed down, you're turning the voltage down, and when you turn the voltage down, you have less power to turn it. The spindle, though, is designed to maintain the power, even though regardless of the spindle speed that it's at. And but I'm gonna what's going on here is you're just overloading the spindle. I would go with a shallower depth of cut, and it's a wide cutter that you're using on that spindle. So shallower depth of cut, and that would be your start, without
Yep.
any more information on the spindle power.
All right. So let's see. Up next here is Harold. He says, "Do you have a video on tiling?"
Do not.
Nope. Harold,
Mark.
I do not have a video on tiling either, but that is on one of my top 10 lists for project videos to do, because it is a very highly sought after project. But Mark does have a video. I know he's been busy too, like we all have. He has I think he has part 1, and then part 2 is going to be like the physical process of doing the tiling. So you can go over to his channel, Mark Lindsay, get the part 1 of tiling, and that literally gives you like the main concept and how to set it up. It's very clear. So
Julianne, if you can look on Mark's channel for tiling, or Mark, if you will link that, better yet, Mark, just go get the link and link it in the comments. Boy, Kate, I feel like we're batting 1,000 here.
I know.
All right, there's a couple questions. Okay, never mind. All right, here we go.
So Vortex 8, I am looking for some plastic sheeting that I can use for V-carving. Anyone know of something that I can get in different sizes?
Plastic sheeting, yeah.
Plastic sheeting, I'm not really sure what you mean as far as like
That's
plastic.
that's a pretty broad subject. Yeah, what kind of plastic?
Yeah. I personally, for V carving, I mean, I know it's super shallow, but I think it's maybe a quarter of an inch thick. But you can buy a sheet of PVC. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how deep you're looking to carve, or really like what your end game is, but you could do some V carving. If you wanted like a really cool layering effect, you could even do like a piece of wood and then the PVC, like, kind of glued to the top of it. And then you could do some V carving. So it would have like a white layer and then like a wood grain layer underneath. Might give it kind of a unique look. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
That's a question. You have to be more defined on that question. And then because I don't do a lot with plastics, you may want to just ask the community. So community, post in the comments what kind of plastic you want to be cutting. What I will say is plexiglass is not a good plastic to be working with. It's too soft, and it gums up way too easy. Speaking of plastic, I have to show a little gift that I received in the mail.
I was going to say, I've seen that sitting back there. It's been catching my eye.
From our CNC brother, came from Greg, and I have to turn off the lights to do this. So I'll show that in just a minute. But
Okay.
Anyway, so go ahead and work on some questions. I'm going to log on with my phone, and then we will we'll take care of
that. Sure thing. All right, so we have Jesus. When will your name and bits be after Liberty and Julianne? Oh,
when what?
a little call to action there for you, sir. You have bits. You have your next bits are going to be named after your ladies there.
Oh, well, so yeah, this is the way it works. We get together and say, okay, we're coming up with a new product, and so we just sit there and brainstorm. I mean, Julianne, let's bring you out, and you can yeah, there you are. Oops, wait. What's our routine when we come up with a new product that we feel really excited about?
Oh my gosh, I'm getting cat bombed here. We discuss it after you have officially tested it. You stop. And then we come up. Well, actually, the Badger one was pretty fun when we started making it. You come up with the character, and I don't know. I think maybe Gizmo is wanting the next bit after her, but we get to do the design for what it is. Will you stop it? Sorry,
she's a natural blonde. She likes to be in front of the camera. I mean, you can't blame her.
Apparently.
So you guys sit down, you kind of design like the character, the thoughts that go into that, and then like once the character is designed, that's kind of like where the name comes in, I would assume.
Right.
We come up with
apologize.
The name. That's okay. We come up with the name first, and then we work on the character, and then we will actually we start engaging with our designer, and tell them, okay, this is what we want. We'll literally pull pictures of animals off the web, and say we want this kind of look, this kind of profile, this kind of body style, and he'll start coming up with the designs, and then we'll shoot videos. I'll say, I want this animal to be looking at you like this or something like that, and like the hog. Julianne said, we got to do the hog. Right. Liberty said it too. And by the way, Liberty is on board chatting up a storm with you as well. She signed on. Yay. And so then we work on that. And then we get the stickers done. And then it's all technical from there, getting the website ready and pictures and the copy, the feeds and speeds, all the technical stuff has to be put together. But it's and Adam, our photographer, came up with the slogan, the little bit with a big bite.
We actually have a draft one for the hog too that we'll have to run by you.
Nice.
Oh.
That sounds fun. Yeah, because the hog doesn't have a photo. The beast does, but the hog does not.
Right.
No.
We've got the Roughing Bit series. We have to give them all characters and personas.
Yep. Yeah, and just so you know, it's a 2 to 4 month process to work this out with new product releases. So it's no small effort on anybody's part. It's a big deal. Then we have to order inventory, and the tooling company has to make it, and sometimes we have to go back and forth with testing and redesigning. So there's a lot that goes on into router bit design and bringing it to you. I feel exhausted just saying that.
That's why
it's a big question.
I know. That's why I said I've been doing a lot of talking. I'm just like, you take over. I'm just gonna sit here and drink my tea. All right. Well,
but Julianne will bump you back out, and Kate just finished with a video about it's got the badger in it. So that tree of life that you did.
Yeah, this week's been a little intense. I put together two videos of they're each about an hour long. I think one of them's like an hour and 5 minutes, but it was actually the tree of life that I made. I actually wound up doing epoxy backfilling that, but that is not in that particular video. I'm coming out with a second video. I actually have the entire video process training done. Oh, I think we need to mute that, Julian.
Yeah, that's good.
There we go. But it has the whole works of how to, like, where to start, how to use a roughing bit, because a lot of people get these roughing bits and then they just use them like a standard end mill and then don't kind of like the final result and get a little confused. So that Tree of Life project over on my YouTube channel, which is now Women Who CNC. So you can easily find that and check that out. But it's a pretty I think it's a good video because you get to see the project, and then right up front, kind of in the middle of it, I'm like, here's how you use it. And if that's all you wanted, that's fine. If not, you can continue on and see how I use and maximize the allowances for the Tree of Life project. So, all right, enough about that. Garrett, let's see that awesome looking thing in the back. That's badass.
That's badass.
Why is your mic echoing so bad? That's terrible.
It does that when I have, hold on, when I have two microphones going on at the same time. There we go.
It's like a, what's that, like a woo?
Yeah, it's just the mics zoning out and doing their thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, while you hit the lights, I'm going to jump on this next question. So we have a great question here from Mike. Does VCarve Pro have to be downloaded to the PC that is connected to your machine? Absolutely not. VCarve Pro is any Vectric program actually can be a standalone program. I believe you get up to 3 licenses. So you can have it on your laptop. You can have it on a small laptop or whatever that you use only for your CNC, maybe to move G-code, or if that's just like your shop computer and you have one in your house for design. You have 3 licenses, and you do not have to have it connected to your CNC, if you will. So that helps.
Okay, I
hope that helps you
apologize
out there,
for
Mike.
the microphone thing.
Yeah.
It's what happens when you have 2 mics, and I somehow can't get it to shut up on the phone. So
maybe you might have to mute your cell phone. Well, no, that would just mute us. That wouldn't mute. Well, no, that would mute you. No, that would mute you.
Just a technical thing got to deal with. All right, let's roll on.
All right, let's see. Very able. I just programmed 3/4 inch plywood and it cut 11-inch diameter. Why doesn't it use G2 or G3 and instead uses point to point around the circle? Okay, so he's using his G sender.
G2 and G3 are circular commands. And so that's generally in your posts. This gets a little bit more complicated to try to explain, but basically the G2 and G3 are I'm assuming, because it's all based on the way the design software G-code writer is written. And generally G2 and G3, one is clockwise, cutting in a clockwise direction. The other one is in a counterclockwise direction. And so generally that's used more in industrial applications. The controllers that we have for things like the benchtop machines aren't as powerful, aren't powerful enough to handle some of those higher level G-code commands. And that's my best semi-educated guess. So there are a ton of G-code commands. And G-code is, for those of you who don't know, you've heard the term G-code. G-code is the instruction that's written for the CNC to do what it does. And there are some very common G-codes that are used. There's G0, which is telling the machine to go at a rapid pace from one location to the other. G1 is telling us to go at a certain feed rate, or inches per minute, or millimeters per second. And then there's the G20 and G21. G20 tells the machine it's going to be working in inches. G21 says I'm working in millimeters. Then you get into G97, G98. There's so many G codes, it's ridiculous. And then G74, which, if I remember right, is a peck drilling command.
Heaven's sakes, that's
I used to have so many G codes in my head. There's the M codes as well that are in there. M codes are machine instructions: turn on, turn off, go counterclockwise, do other things, turn the coolant on, turn the coolant off.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at
Yeah.
looking at.
So,
I need to look up something real quick.
no, that's okay.
But yeah, for those of you who don't use GSender, it's kind of like a foreign language. Like I don't use GSender whatsoever, so I am like, I don't know, it's
Well,
just
it's not just
completely out of the
G-Sender.
loop for me.
Yeah, it's not just G-Sender. It's most of the Vectric is writing the G code. Right.
Right.
The G code is being filtered through the post processor. Right. The post processor is saying that we have to plug certain things in certain places.
Right.
And so Vectric is writing this code based on, we'll say there's two levels of G code writing, for lack of a better word. There's your CNC router level, and then there's your industrial level. And industrial level is like, we're talking a single story house compared to the Empire State Building.
Okay, I think I know. So for those of you who don't know, I have a Onefinity Journeyman, and so like when our prompts come up on our machines and it says change tool, start spindle or whatever, that's like an M6 code. So it says M6, and then in like parentheses it says, change tool, start spindle or whatever. So like that is where we would put that, and that's in our settings menu. I've monkeyed with that before, but I guess I've just never used like G2, G3 because most all of our stuff is programmed in there for us. So it's just not something I guess I'm not really experienced, if you will.
Yeah. It's just at the end of the day, it's just the way the software is designed to write the code. It's generally easier and less intensive for the software to work with. And also there are circuit boards that run our machines that can't necessarily operate all that stuff, right? So the G2 and G3 with the I and J commands, there's two more letters that get in there. Right?
No, thank you.
Right. Now, things like the super long board, the Masso, that they are more designed for that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Very good. All right. So let's see here. Joseph says, new CNC beginner. Welcome to the fabulous journey.
Yes. Another brother joins the crowd. You have joined a brotherhood and a sisterhood, my friend, of creators who are out here to help each other.
Absolutely. All right. So he says, using VCarve, how do you put more space in between the letters? So do you want to pop open Vectric for us?
Sure. But seeing as I got a lettered project up right now, and I actually had to use that in this. So let me get out of that. We're going to come over to the other side. We're going to look at the design. I am unstoppable. Again, I am all about positive talk, right? So I wanted to move the I a little bit closer to the A. And so what you do is in the create vectors area, down where the text is, you have two letter T's, which are text writing functions. And then, let's see, it is the third one over. It's got a little pointer on it and says edit text spacing. When you select that, your cursor is going to have a little T next to it. And you hover between the text and you can start to click, but it's not working. Oh, I didn't select the text. So I have to select the text. There we go. You hover between it and these two arrows come up and you'll see it says, it's got like a little V symbol, a plus symbol, and to the upper right of the icon, there's two little arrows and they're pointing inward. And that's saying that we're going to start nudging the I and the A together if I'm between the I and the A. So when I start to click, let's come in closer. You can see the I and the A start to come together, just nudging together. If I hold the shift button down, those arrows change direction and they start pointing outward. And that means that I can start to nudge it back out a little bit. So that's how you do that. If you want to make it nudge a lot faster, hold the control button down and it will jump a lot faster. And if you hold the control shift, it'll jump outward faster. And that's how you adjust the spacing. So I got the A and the M there a little close, so I'm going to nudge them out. Bam. Nope, too far. So I'm going to nudge them in slowly. There we go.
Yep. All right. So for those of you, Garrett can't see because he's got full screen going on. So when you guys are actually using that tool, your mouse will be in between the letters that you're working with. I'm not sure if it's just like an internet delay because it shows like your mouse is down here,
The
but you're
mouse is
clicking and
down
you're
here.
seeing the letters move. So when
Yep.
you're actually using that tool, your mouse will be in between each letter or word that you're trying to,
Yeah.
use or
You
whatever like that.
hover the mouse in between the letters that you want to change the gap on. Now, you can also do it for the lines too. If you have a 2 or 3 text line, you put it in between the line that you want to space further apart or closer together.
Absolutely.
And then Kyle showed us that if you use the Alt key, it'll nudge all of them at one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to look for my Alt key on my laptop because I've used it maybe like once or twice in my life.
Hey, we've got a couple more contributions here. Okay.
All right. Let's see what we got here. So Harold, $20. Remember, IDC donates part of their sales go to St. Jude. So let's all help IDC donate more this year than ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on that note, we have not donated for Q4 of last year yet, and so my goal was $30,000 to St. Jude, but we've got another agency that we are contributing to now, and they're going to get a little bit more. It's called Missing Alexis, and Missing Alexis is an organization that supports families who have lost their children. And my daughter is part of that organization. She lost her 3rd grandson. He died in her arms. Or my grandson, my 3rd grandson, her 3rd son. And so we contributed to them, and they have recognized IDC Woodcraft. And is it next week, Julia, next month that they are having a formal dinner that they've invited us to? Yeah. So
that's incredible.
Now it's not just St. Jude, it's also Missing Alexis. But at the end of the day, we will be donating $8,000, and I will probably take care of that next week. Julian, put that on my agenda.
Awesome. Thank you, Harold. Yes, very much. Thank you.
It feels so good to be able to do that. $30,000 from last year is what we are donating. This is why I do what I do. Not just to help you, but to help others. Right? It just feels so good.
Yeah, it really is. Never mind. I don't want to go off on that tangent because it's a personal note. But I always just, if you're a cheerful giver and you're a generous giver, I was always taught that the Lord gives back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's worth putting out there. Always be a cheerful giver.
Yeah,
all right.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. Just on that note, being a cheerful giver, we give, we get, right? And so you also have to be a cheerful receiver.
Yes. Yes.
All right, bring them out.
Yes. All right, let's do it. Mr. Jeremy, running a Onefinity with a spindle, doing a 3D carve using the 0.015 tapered ball nose with the max feed rate what is the max feed rate you would recommend? I'm doing a small carve and 2.5 hours seems excessive even with roughing.
Okay. What is the max feed rate you would recommend? Doing a small carve. I just had to read it again. Seems excessive.
Okay, so your max feed rate, that's kind of what I was looking up earlier. Your max feed rate on the tapered ball nose for this particular bit is 60 inches a minute.
Right. So Kate is pulling that up on the IDC Woodcraft CNC Router Bit app. So right there on that app is all your feeds and speeds.
Yeah, right here. So it says
go,
it's at 60 inches a minute.
yeah.
So Jeremy,
Now,
I run into this issue too when you're doing 3D carving, and even if it is a small 3D carve, I mean, when you say small, maybe put in the comments and Julian can look for it. Like what is small to you? It's all kind of in the eyes of the beholder. So small to me is like a 12 by 18. Like that's
okay,
small to me. So
right,
taper
right.
ball nose, if it said 2.5 hours, I've been like, oh, okay, no big deal.
Yeah. But here's the thing with this. So he's using the ultra fine taper ball nose. So it's got a very small tip on it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's doing at an 8% step over. I would suggest that you bring that up to a 10% step over because it's such a small step over. Honestly, if you can get your machine up to it, run it at 250 inches per minute.
Really?
Your
Oh, well,
machine
he's
will
running a
never.
spindle too.
Yeah. It's not the spindle that's gonna determine the speed of the machine. It's how fast it can work its way in and out of the 3D carve. But at the same time, when it's doing a step over, it's taking off so little material off the side of it that you can just rip right through. You can just go as fast as you possibly can.
Mhm. Okay, so he says it's a 2 by 10, so it's not terribly
Yeah.
not
Yeah. So
terribly
if you're
big.
using a machine like the long mill, you can get up to 160 inches per minute, and it's that's set for its fastest. Now I have upped mine. I've gone into the control and changed it to 200 inches per minute as a max feed rate. But we don't want to overburden stepper motors because we start missing steps.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, we got another. Richard is donated as well. You
Oh,
guys are
Richard,
great. You guys are great.
man, y'all are just cheerful givers. I love it. Forever in debt to those who are generous as IDC Woodcraft. Thanks to Garrett and Kate. Well,
Yeah.
Richard, it is our pleasure. We love showing up for you guys. We love doing this on Wednesdays. You know, it's definitely it's a commitment on our end, but it's a commitment that we love to make to you guys because we get to have fun. And Garrett and I always kind of like we'll growl and grumble. There's been a few days where we're just like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't have the energy to do it tonight. And
That's
like
a
we're
true.
both like boop, 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 like after the show because we're all just like super energized and love hanging out with you guys. So
It really is. There have been times where, I mean, we all go through it. We don't want to do what we got to do, but we have
yeah.
promised you that we will be here. And so no matter how tired we are, unless there is some, whatever commitment that we absolutely have to be at, then we will be here. And it always happens. By the time we're 15 minutes in, it's like, wait, I was tired? What?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Last night I had 2 hours of sleep. I literally had 2 hours of sleep because I was coughing my head off. And I was sitting at the library. Okay, so short interval, short story here. So last night I was talking with Garrett. What time was it? It was 8:50, and I was texting him and I said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" I was working on my YouTube channel, and I have to show you this picture here really quickly. So it was, let me look on it was 8:56, and because you guys know my Wi-Fi sucks terribly, here I am, 8:56. I was sitting at the library last night hogging up their Wi-Fi, trying to get that darn YouTube video for y'all uploaded. There you
Wait,
go.
we were on the phone after that, and the library closed, and she was in her car while the video was still uploading. She was
I was
sucking
like,
down, stealing their Wi-Fi.
yo, that's how bad it is around here. Okay, this is like a true story. Like you cannot. I'm gonna say what Kevin Hart said. You cannot make this shit up. Okay, like that. This is real. This is real life right here.
Yeah.
You guys are cracking me up. So after I told him, you heard him earlier. He said, "This is my year. I'm killing it." Here's the comment that I sent to him. I said, "Let me say this. I'm sick. I'm sitting at the library 20 minutes from home trying to upload this video because my Wi-Fi sucks. I'm committed. LOL." There it is. Okay. Just telling y'all. It is you got to do it even when you don't feel like doing it, because when you show up and you do it, I'm so thankful today that darn video is uploaded.
All right.
The things
Okay.
we do.
We got to get back to questions. We're doing a lot of jibbing and jabbing. All right. So we're 10 minutes before the top of the hour. So if you have a question, make sure you get it in the next 10 minutes. Put in the front of your question the big letters, capital letters, question, and then put it in there. All right. Let's start knocking these out, Kate.
All right. Let's do it. Question for you. Bruce says, Garrett, how is the spindle coming along?
This is kind of an ongoing joke inside IDC Woodcraft. I keep telling them, okay, we're going to do it this week. We're going to do it this week. And business just gets in the way. So I've got a video I have just finished. It's the how to work with a roundover bit, how to design with a roundover bit, and an example. So that video should be uploaded tomorrow. And then we lost a very close family friend this week. So Friday, I am out of action. My team will be managing everything, which I could totally trust them to do this. So I've been gone for a week, and they've kept everything under control. I don't think I even need to be at this company anymore. But anyway, and so next week, that is my commitment. Monday's usually pretty busy. Tuesday, that's what I'm doing. Julianne, make sure my schedule is clear.
There, she's like, okay. She's like asking for the impossible here. No.
Yeah. I always ask her for the impossible. I ask Liberty for the impossible too. But these guys,
y'all, it's Garrett's spindle. It's my epoxy table. We all got these little things that just kind of like stalking us. They just keep following us around.
Yeah.
All right.
On top of that, I'm ramping up IDC Woodcraft. I've got going to get ready to build a course. I've got more product coming, more different things that are coming to IDC Woodcraft, which CNC insiders, you will be the first to know when things are coming on online. And IDC Woodcraft is venturing into a new atmosphere as well. Still CNC.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of what I've been telling my ladies too over at Women Who CNC. I said, y'all don't even know. You don't even know. Now this is my year. We're gonna kill it. All right. Let's see. Ace Center, Kate. I can't remember. Are you running the Masso? No, I am not running the Masso. It is a goal on my things to buy this year. It is something I've wanted to upgrade to. I have just not done that, but I would love to. So.
Yep. The Masso is what I was talking about before, the CNC router control software. The Masso is the equivalent of an industrial level at a for a very affordable price for us. That's same with the long mill super longboard.
Yes, they
super
are
longboard, less expensive.
Yes, so the Elite series all have the new Masso controllers, and anything that is the non-Elite series, like mine, the Journeyman X50, the Woodworker, there's a couple other ones. Those all have the Buildbotics motors, which are still fantastic. I've had mine for going on 3 years now, and no problems. Love mine. Love my Winfinity. So, all right. Let's see who we've got next here. Simon. Hi, I'm trying to use a large. Oh, we already covered Simon's question here.
Yep.
All right, Jack. What might cause my MK2 to almost stop as it travels to the furthest from my 0 point at the front left? Twice it stopped at the extreme end of the surfacing at that point. Sorry, I totally muddled through that.
Yeah. It was, that is a question I'm assuming that you're talking about the machine itself stopped. And so that's a question to take the long mill. And but what I would do, I'd make sure all your connections to your motors are secure. All right, and all connections on your control that all those wires you have to plug in, make sure that they are all plugged in securely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. let's see here. We have a great question from Randy B. This one's for you. What bit would you use for etching glass?
I'm going to bring it up. I would use a diamond engraver. Okay, the spring-loaded. I'm going to just bring it up onto the IDC website first and then show you exactly. And Julianne, put a link in the description for this, please. Or I can do it. I got it here anyway. So I'm going to link it in the description. This is a WidgetWorks diamond engraver. It's an industrial level engraver for glass. There it is. And so this is a spring-loaded tool. This can engrave brass, steel, aluminum, granite, and it can engrave glass as well. So this is the one that you'd want to use. It also, the diamond engravers are excellent for your epoxy work, or the acrylic work. This acrylic sign from, I got to unplug it, so you probably can't see. Well, I'll switch back to it in a minute. It works amazingly well on all of them. With glass, glass is pretty abusive to the diamond engravers. So one of the things you'll want to do is use a little bit of lubricant on the glass, like an oil, water or oil or something. So this was done with the diamond engraver. You see how fine the lines can get, and it's super, super clean. That's on acrylic, cast acrylic. Anyway, so that's the one. I put a link in the description. It's a little more expensive than what you might find, but number one, it's industrial level. This one, NASA uses it. General Motors uses it. Campbell Soup uses it. So these major companies use this brand. So it's like, okay, I got to have that one. And the other reason I inventoried that one as opposed to some of the others, because you read reviews and you see what they say. And almost all the ones I've seen, when it comes to glass, they fail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, is there a specific type of acrylic that you need to use?
Yeah, cast acrylic.
Cast acrylic. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that.
Now, the thing to remember, the diamond engraver is a drag bit. And what that means is you do not turn your spindle on. It's got a drag. It's like a drag knife. You do not turn the spindle on.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Let's see here. Chris, is CNC Labs working on an upgrade machine?
They are working on 2 machines, and I can't wait for them to start. I know one of them is they are testing it now. They're getting all the components in. It's called the Alt Mill. It's a 4x4 CNC router, and so they're going into the space with the 4x4 units. It's still a benchtop machine, and then they are also working on a CO2 laser, and that I can't wait for either.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't wait for that either.
Very cool.
Yeah, and one of our CNC brothers, I'm not going to mention the name, has been asked by Long Mill to be a beta tester because they have worked with their machine so much. And they've done some cool stuff. So it's very cool to get recognized like that.
Heck yeah, that's incredible. All right, let's see who's up next. Seniors, CWICL. Can you create a question page on the IDC website that guides people to give more detail on their machine / spindle, so more complete information answers may be produced?
Okay. Sorry, I had to see what was being talked about in the background there.
Yeah.
So at the IDC website. Okay. So on the IDC website, as you know, with most websites, there's a little bubble down at the bottom, conversation bubble. And what I am doing, my tech guy has been working on this, is I want that bubble, which is an AI tool, that will have its own page. But this I'll remember. I'm going to take this one to heart. And Julian, make note of this comment here so we can talk about this a little bit further and just keep it on our radar. I'm training that robot to answer CNC questions, not just about router bits. And the idea is for that page, that there will be a dedicated page where you can do exactly this. You can ask a question, and with enough data fed to the AI, it can give you the answers. But we have to work with it. It takes a while to get the AI to realize, to answer it properly. So a lot of training.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they would include the machines, spindles, all that stuff, and yeah, it's going to be such a cool tool. This is one of the big things that's going to happen this year at IDC Woodcraft, when no one else does it. No one else is even thinking about this, and this kind of blurted out, and I'm like, oh shit! Now I just told the world, crap.
You know what? But you have done so much for the community that no one else has even thought about touching. I mean, yes, like the big brands, like we've talked about this so many times. Amana, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know what the correct way is. They have a tool database. But for the people in the hobby space that aren't running big industrial machines, you created a tool database. You created worksheets. All of his meticulous feeds and speeds. You've come out with collections. You've been very meticulous and very thoughtful in your entire business planning, which has been, the checklist. Like nobody else is showing up with this kind of stuff in the community for us. So it's not.
Guide.
I mean, all the videos, all the tutorials, all the trainings, everything. I mean, you've been at this for a long time, and you've been killing it, showing up.
It goes like this. Yeah, I've been a CNC machinist in the first 20 years of my career, and then I became an engineer, and then I got out of the workforce. And I'm like, now what the hell am I going to do, right? And I thought the word wealth. I wanted to cut that out, and I went to Michael's. I bought the letters, and Michael's is buying their stuff from people that don't really care about what they're making, and at least not these letters. Put it that way. It was pretty pathetic. Every letter was so out of scale. But I got the word wealth and put it on a board and looking at it going, that is made so crappy. I can make that better than that. I got, woodworking was a hobby of mine. And so I found someone, I looked it up and I found, CNC routers for the home. I didn't know that existed. And I got into it, and then I'm going, okay, how do I do this? How to do that? How to do that? And everybody else is asking the same question. I said, screw this. I'm going to solve this problem. All right. And thankfully I have a mentor who has taught me how to give. All right. And how to recognize if you solve a problem and give the solution. All right. Which there's so many resources at IDC Woodcraft. You give the solution, the universe, God will reward you. Right. And it happens. Like, got this business, got some awesome employees. It's a growing business. I get to communicate with all these people here. Sorry, I'm on a rant and rave, but I'm just in that place of this feels so good.
It does.
To make a difference.
Gives you the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah.
It really does. Heck, 2 years ago, I'd never thought in 100 years that I'd be teaching other people one-on-ones. Some days I still sit back and I'm like, who am I? How am I even near qualified to talk to people and to teach people how to use Vectric? I still question myself most days. But like I said earlier, you got to keep showing up for yourself. You got to keep putting in the learning and the education and just keep working at it day after day, because there is always somebody that can benefit from you. I know this is going to sound really weird to say out loud, because sometimes I have to say this to myself and remind myself of this, but God has given each one of us gifts. And if we are not putting that out into the world and we are not sharing our gifts of what we are capable of doing, that's very selfish of ourselves. We're holding that in. We are meant to be social beings. And thanks to Garrett, he brought out my teaching abilities. That is not something I ever thought that I would have the patience to do or want to do. But here I am doing that. Now I have a group of women who CNC over on Facebook. Some of the craziest, talented ladies that could blow me out of the water. I mean, do blow me out of the water. They're incredible. They're so talented. We actually have one lady, Christina. She is a wood shop teacher. She's like, I talked to her on the phone and she's just like absolutely freaking phenomenal of a human being. She has her own business. She teaches wood shop. She does all of these like insane things for the community. I mean, holy smokes. It's just, I just love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. There's a comment that came in just after 9 o'clock. It came from Tony. And so Tony had asked about, you asked about a project that you sent me a picture. Bear with me. I get so many emails in a day, right? So it's a lot of work. Just put it that way. I'm trying to take care of all that. My team does help with the emails to get them filtered and what have you.
Yes. Yeah. I have several sitting in my inbox too. I'm trying to work through. All right. Let's see. Who do we have up next? Let's see. Oh, nope. We already did that one. I need to. Jason Mullins, current CNC machine recommendations. Oh boy. Well, Jason, since we're here on our platform, I'm going to recommend a Onefinity. It all depends on your need and what you want to do. My philosophy is go big or go home. That's what I did. Yep. I went, when I found the Onefinity, that was the machine that I wanted, bought the biggest one that they had. That's a true story.
Yeah.
So
I'm a long mill guy. All right. And when it comes down to it, what I will say is, first of all, what you shouldn't buy is a machine that doesn't have good support behind it. All right. Always check the company first to see if they support you, because if they don't have good support, then they probably don't care a whole lot about their equipment either. If they don't care about you and be there for the support afterwards, then they probably don't care about their equipment. All right.
Yeah, that's
machine. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. I feel like let me give you this piece of advice, Jason. When you're reading reviews, make sure that when you're reading reviews that they would pertain to you and your type of situation. Sometimes there's just like really angry people out there, or people that are just leaving reviews for like I don't even know what. Like they want a refund on a gift card, and so they gave them a negative review. Like that doesn't pertain to the support of the customer service. So like disregard that. Look at the reviews that are pertinent to you getting service for your machine.
Yeah. So to step aside bias, right? Kate loves her Onefinity. I love my long mill. What you want to do is educate yourself on what you want in a CNC machine. That's why I made the ultimate buyer's guide video, to educate you on what you should be looking for, how CNC machine, the routers are built, what you want to stay away from. For example, belt-driven machines, I don't recommend them if you don't understand that belts need to be tensioned to a certain tension, right? Then that leads to problems with the cuts. So ultimate buyer's guide video, Julianne, let's link that in the description, please.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that go into buying a CNC.
Yeah. It's about an hour and a half long, but by the time you're done with that video, you will know more than most people who go out and buy their CNC routers. I promise you. You'll be much more educated and know what to be looking for.
You betcha. Yep. All right. Looks like our friend Dan has a question for
Hey,
us.
Dan.
He said, I changed to Makita and now I have a problem. Oh no. I can't
Uh-oh.
run the router slow enough or my desktop CNC fast enough to not burn my wood with a 1.5-inch surfacing bit.
Oh.
Can I mitigate this somehow? Um,
How do you do that? You can't
so
run the machine fast enough. And the spindle, that creates an interesting complex problem.
okay, so Dan, as you know, I have a Makita in mine as well. I normally run my Makita at about 10 to 12,000 RPM. So right at like the one and then like the two little marks right after that. The 1.5-inch surfacing bit. Number one thing, make sure you are using a raster. Make sure you are not using an offset, because when you're bringing that
Yeah.
in the center of the machine, it's coming in and it's basically going to go like this and it's going to go back and forth, and then you're going to get a lot of burning. So make sure you're coming in from like that bottom left corner and you're doing a raster cut back and forth.
Yeah,
Those are a
that's key.
couple
Okay,
things.
I misunderstood the question. I thought he had changed out from a Makita to a spindle. Okay.
Oh,
But even
no.
so, spindle should still be able to do that. Kate's absolutely right. Do not do offset when you're doing surfacing. You want to go back and forth, and run all the way off the wood, and then come back in.
Yeah. The other big thing when you're doing a surfacing is within Vectric, whatever you're surfacing. So saying you're doing a 10 by 12 project, make sure that your boundary, so your vector that you are surfacing, is beyond the piece that you're working with. So you have your white job set up 10 by 12 piece. You want to make sure that your boundary is like, say, 11.25 by, what did I say? 10 by 12. So 13, 13.25, something like that. You want to make sure that you're running off of the piece and not just going to the very edges of it. So, but
Yeah,
I don't know how fast you're running as far as your feed. That would be
yeah.
the
With the
only
one,
other thing that I'm
that,
wondering.
that's a good point too. So the 1.5-inch surfacing bit, you should be running that at 120 inches per minute or faster. But start at
Okay.
120 inches per minute, and generally you don't need to take off a whole lot. I'm going to share screen and show you how I set up surfacing, and I can't stress what Kate just shared enough about not doing an offset. Do a raster cut. So on this one, let's say my grain is going side to side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle, and that rectangle, the size of the rectangle, this is a 10-inch by 10-inch project. So if my grain is going to side, then I want my router bit to go all the way off of that project. So I'm going to create a rectangle that's 13 inches wide. And since it's 10 inches tall, I'm going to create a rectangle that's 11 inches tall. And I create that, and I'll center that. And there we go. Can you see the rectangle now?
We
Kate?
can, yes.
Okay. So what's going to happen is this router bit is going to come in outside the rectangle. It's going to plunge down, and then it's going to start across all the way because you're doing a raster cut, and then it's going to move up and come all the way across again. Now, what's the difference between a raster cut and an offset cut? We're going to go into a profile cut because that's where I would set that up at. I'm just simply going to select the tool, and I'm going to go into the IDC Woodcraft database. And by the way, all these router bits are in the IDC Woodcraft database, and that database is free to you from the IDC Woodcraft website. And it's available for the Vectric software, Fusion 360, Carve, Coat, and Carbide Create. So I'm going to get the 1.5-inch surfacing bit, populate that in there, and right now I'm set on an offset cut. Where it says passes, there's since my mouse is not tracking properly in the image, it'll say offset or raster. You can choose, and that little rectangle box, it'll show you how it's cutting. So below the word offset, there's a little spiral working its way outward. But the raster, when I switch to that, it goes zigzag. I'm going to show you an offset cut. I'm going to calculate it. And I got to select the vector and calculate it. And there's an offset cut. All right, the router bit is going to work its way. It's going to make a lot of turns, and it has to stop and pause for a moment to make those turns. And that momentary pause is enough to heat things up really fast for the wood. And that's what's caused, if you do an offset, you're gonna get burn marks like that. It's very hard to not get the burn marks when you're doing that, unless you can get your feed rates up and you get a good lightning fast transition from turn to turn. So I'm going to go back into that. I'm going to change it to raster. Picked the wrong tool path.
Oh, you're good.
Yep. Oh, I had another router bit in there. That's why. I'm going to go back to raster. I'm going to do it again. And now we have a zigzag tool path. And that's the type of tool path you want. And you can see that the router bit is leaving this material surface each time before it changes its direction and moves up, and then it goes back over again. That's what you want. And that, Dan, is one of the things I had to stress this because I see it a lot. You're far better off using a raster cut. I should probably make it drop a card with that information as well. Oh man, something else to print up and pack away, pack up in those. Julianne's going, no, please. There's so much stuff we pack in an envelope. If you order from IDC Woodcraft, you order a router bit, one single router bit, and it's the first time you've ordered. You're getting a pen, you're getting stickers, you're getting candy. You always get candy. It's like a Christmas present. Okay, let's get on the next question.
It really is. I was down there one day helping Liberty do some packing. I just stopped down to see Garrett at the shop, and I was like, hey, sis, what can I help you with? And she was like, how about you put all this stuff in a stack? I'm like, what is all this for? And she's like, oh, these go with these bits. I was just like, holy smokes. Yeah. She's like a ninja.
Yeah. You always get a note on your packages, too.
Yeah, there's that, too. All right. John Price. Hello, sir. How would I set a vector in a maze after converting from a bitmap? Okay, how would I set a vector in a maze after converting from a bitmap? Cannot get the CNC to carve the ball channel.
I actually thought about doing that, creating one of those. If you wanted to follow the ball channel, it has to be a closed vector.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was thinking, okay, hear me out on this thought. Maybe I'm totally off base here. What about how when you do a keyhole slot, you know how you draw your line in the vector and then you have to tell it to come back, so it's a closed vector? Could you do that same approach to create the ball channel?
You could. Okay, so here's what I would suggest. There's two ways. There's two ways to do this. Number one is, the best way to do it is to do a profile cut. You want to draw that line. You have what you have. I can already see it. You got the maze drawn out, but what you're trying to do is carve between the lanes. The best way to do that is to draw lines in between the maze lines that are dead nuts in the middle between the two lines, and write your tool path based on those lines. This is a good one. I so much want to make one of these things. I'm gonna have to. I got to bring it up. Okay, sorry.
No way. Go for it. This is what we're here for.
That's exactly what we're here for. All right, so I'm gonna just clear some things up here, and so let's just say we got a ball channel that goes like this. Okay, very simple maze. If we can manage to make ourselves work through that maze, we'll go something like that. Make it really easy. All right. Yep. Okay. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to carve in between, but right now we have an open vector. And what an open vector is there's a start point on the line, there's an end point on the line, as opposed to what's called a closed vector. Now this rectangle is a closed vector. There is no end. You can run your finger all the way around that rectangle, and you can just keep running around. You will never come to an end. Whereas these lines, you will come to an end. All right, so if you want to carve the ball channel, there's 2 ways to do it, but I'm going to tell you that the better way that I would do it is I would find the center and draw a single line through that center using offset commands and what have you, and then do a profile cut on that line that you drew between the maze lines, and that will get you. And all you have to do is set the depth of cut for the radius, or for the ball nose, for the ball tool that you're using, the ball nose,
I like
end mill,
that.
whatever.
Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot.
One thing,
I like it.
one thing to remember though too is that line is going to have to exit. If you just start the line in, like right now, this line is right at the edge of the material, but if it's going to stop right there, it'll get all of it. I would run that line off the end of the material a little bit, just to make sure that ball clears all the way through the wood and just gives you a clean cut, the ball channel all the way out. I don't know how to do it. Kate, we'll have to work on a video for something like that. That'd be kind of a cool project.
That would be a super cool project. I'll write that down.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of projects, if there are projects that you guys would like for me to tackle or to try, that is going to be my primary focus for my YouTube channel, is going to be for the Women Who CNC and for all of you. I'm going to stop doing, I've kind of like taken a sabbatical from my rise and shine, if you will, and I want to do projects, but then I want to show you like how to set it up in Vectric, how to do the project, like how to get from point A to point Z, and not like just see all these really cool projects on Instagram and be like, that's fabulous, but how do I do that? And then ride the struggle bus all the way through. That is what the focus of my channel for 2024 is really going to be, because I do so many cool projects and then I document it just like a little here, a little here, a little here. And then it winds up like, 28 million photos of little here, little here, little here. And then nothing gets posted because nobody understands what is actually happening.
Yeah.
Is the problem a lot of creators have. So if there are projects that you want to see or do, like send me an email. My email is in the description of this video. It's womenwhocnc@gmail.com. Send me some ideas. I would love to have your guys' like ideas. That would be cool.
There
But
you go.
we'll do a maze with a ball channel. Cool.
Maze of the ball channel would be so much fun.
Heck yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The description of this video, there's lots of information down there. There's links and such, the things that we've talked about. There's your the app, the phone app. There's the CNC Insider sign up, which is the IDC Woodcraft email list. And all those who are on the email list got a 15% discount on the Badger when it was released. CNC Insiders get discounts on new products for a limited time. So you want to get on that list if you want some discounts.
Yeah. Tell them where to go sign up. You always forget that word.
It's right down below in the description of the video.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
Join CNC Insiders. I'll link it in the first comment. I'll pin it in the comments. And the Badger, we got a couple of Badgers in. So if you missed out on that, you can get the Badger. It's back in stock. Muscle Chuck. Muscle Chuck is going to be shipped out Friday. And I did want to talk about this because there's a few people that got the Muscle Chuck. Now, the Muscle Chuck is a quick change tool for your CNCs where you don't have to, you have the nut and the collet. It's a fixed thing. It just has a screw on it, a locking screw. It's super, super fast. And so IDC Woodcraft is currently stocking for the Makita Muscle Chuck. Now I'm going to be getting inventory in for the ER styles as well, the collets. But the Muscle Chuck is coming in. I said that. The thing I wanted to share was a couple people commented about it's vibrating on them. And which means it's out of balance. And it's not really the out of balance. This is the one thing we don't think about. As we take our collets in and out, in and out, in and out of the spindle as we're changing our router bits, there's still some wood dust up inside that collet. And we keep doing that, and we're jamming that wood dust up in the collet, in the taper, in the spindle, right? And that gets stuck there. And if you put the muscle chuck on, and you've got some debris in there, it's going to put it on a little cockeyed, and you're going to get out of balance. And so what you want to do, what I do, is take a little Scotch-Brite, get it up in there, clean it up really good. You can even turn it on and just run, just don't cut your finger. I shouldn't say that, but that's one of the ways I do it, to get it cleaned up. If just stick your finger up in there, you'll feel it. You'll feel stuff stuck to the sidewall. And then use a little a can of air or a rag or something, and just get all that cleaned out really good before you put the muscle chuck on. So for those of you,
I will tell you too, when you're using a muscle chuck, or even I want to just put this out there for when you're using roughing bits, please, for the love of God, take your nut off and the collet out and clean it. Like, even take like your like your wrench or something, and just hit the side of your the router where the nut comes. You put the nut on, because you would be so amazed at the amount of dust that gets caught up in there. It's atrocious.
Yeah, every time. And the reason is because sawdust that gets in between the bit and the collet, no matter how tight you make it, it's like little tiny baby ball bearings in there, and your router bit will start to slip on you.
Yep.
Every time you change your bit, clean that collet up. All right, let's get some more questions. We've got 15 of them hanging out there.
Lord have mercy. All right, Lyndon. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. In Vectric, why would the measuring tool draw the lines just fine but not display any dimensions? So it usually does. So you'll have an angle, and it'll say A, and it'll have like 0.90 if it's an angle, and then it'll have an L underneath it, and it'll say like that's your length. But if it's not there on the actual line, it's on the left side in the actual tool that you will see all of that information displayed.
Yeah, so, one of the points in this, Kate, Lyndon, the measuring tool is not a dimension tool. It's not drawing dimension lines. The dimension line tool is drawing dimension lines. So that's the difference. You use the dimension line tool, that will give you the dimensions as they should be, with the arrows and the extension lines and the box with the number in it, and what have you.
Thank you for catching that. I did not catch that. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Facebook users. How do you set up a juice groove in Vectric Pro? I know to set up job material, and then I place a rectangle around the board. I assume that when it turns pink, it is now turned into a vector. How do we go from there? Do we pocket or profile toolpath? We already surfaced the boards on the CNC.
Okay.
Do you want to take this, or do you want me to?
Sure. Okay, so this is a beginner's question, and there are quite a few videos out there on the IDC Woodcraft channel, and on Kate's channel, and on Mark's channel that will cover that. But to answer the question, to do a juice groove is a profile cut. You're going to draw the rectangle, which you have. When it's pink, that just means it's selected. All right, and then from there, you want to use the profile toolpath. And in the profile toolpath, you are going to, well, I got that rectangle set up. Let me just bring it up. And okay. So let's delete the maze. We're going to change the size of the rectangle briefly and bring it into the middle. We'll pretend that's a juice groove. I'm going to come over, and I'm going to delete the toolpath I have here. I have the rectangle selected. We are going to profile toolpath. It's the very first toolpath, upper left. Select that, and then you're going to select the depth of cut at the very top. So for juice groove, maybe 1/4 inch. So we say 0.25, and you're going to select your ball nose bit. So we'll use the IDC
Your
Woodcraft
your
has
bowl bit.
not for a juice groove,
You
not
don't
for the
use a.
groove. I don't use a bull bit for a groove,
Oh,
but you can. I mean, you can. But the 3/4 inch ball nose is the one that's optimal. That I have felt that was optimal for juice grooves. But you use the 1/2 inch. You can use the pole. You can use the 1 inch. It all depends on the size that you want. I've selected that. And the one thing that's really important is where it says machine vectors, that needs to be selected on the line. So you have outside the line, or outside right, inside left, and on, that needs to be on. And I would ramp into it. And ramping, I've got videos on ramping, but I would ramp into it. So if you don't have the menu on your profile thing that says ramp, leads, order, start at, and corners, then you need to turn that menu on. At the very top where it says cutting depth, there's a little checkbox. That checkbox will turn that on. It'll turn on your extra features. And you select your ramp, and you want to use a smooth ramp. And just to determine your distance for the ramping, I'll just say 1 inch and calculate and run it. And there's your juice groove. So you notice I got corners right here, kind of sharp corners. So I put radiuses on your rectangle. So there we go.
very good. Very good. All
I
right.
do suggest that you get a little training on that and go a little more into videos, because that this is this type of tool path is so common that you will use. The two that you'll use all the time are pocketing and profile. And these are very basic tool paths that the first things we need to get to know. Kate and I are both adamant about getting the right education, right? Instead of guessing to how you're going to do this stuff and try to figure it out. So, and the person that we recommend is Kyle Ely. He has built a course that walks you from the very beginning in the Vectric, and it takes you all the way through it from a beginner's level. And the good thing about that is you are starting at the beginning and you're taken through the proper steps in order to understand the software. So
Yes.
it's Kyle Ely at Learn Your CNC. You're in Facebook. Above in the description, there will be a link that takes you to his website. Go check it out and jump on board. Right? There's a lot of us creators here. I'm signed up to it. There's a lot of creators here
I am
that
too.
are also signed up to it and taking it. And brothers and sisters, those of you who've already gotten the Kyle's course, put a comment in the comments. So this, well, Facebook users on Facebook, most people are in YouTube on the IDC Woodcraft channel. So
Yep.
I suggest you come over to IDC Woodcraft YouTube channel, and you'll see all our brothers and sisters talking to each other.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's see. Who do we have up next here? We have another Facebook user says, "Hi, Kate and Garrett. Have you done any box maker gadget stuff in Vectric?" I'll go first. Oh, you haven't?
Nope.
No. So I tried the box maker gadget on a very, very small scale. I actually had one of the ladies in our Women Who CNC group. She was trying to make like some little pencil holders for her teachers. I mean, they were like relatively tiny. And I tried doing it, and I tried measuring, like messing with the offset allowance and the pocket allowance, and I could just not the pocket allowance, I'm sorry. The allowance offset, I could not get it right for like the tiniest thing. I think like a laser would have been best for as small as those are, but I would have also I have made some like actual boxes, like crates and stuff like that for my shop. Fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. Gadgets, if you're not familiar with what he's asking about, in the actual Vectric software, you can download gadgets. There are lots of different options that you can do. If you are not familiar with how to get those on within Vectric, One, you need to be signed into your V&Co account, kind of like the same way you would access clip art, things like that. But if you just kind of want to get your feet wet and look at what they are and what they offer, go over to Vectric.com and check out just their gadgets, and then you can get a little more information right there before you start downloading things into your software. So, you know, you can get a little taster, if you will.
Yeah, gadgets is pretty cool. Just remember, it is not available in the desktop versions.
No. Yeah.
It's only available in the pro versions.
Yeah, I actually would like to make some drawers. Drawers, you can tell I'm little from the Midwest, Southern drawer. Drawers. for my CNC
You've
table.
been drinking too much.
So getting a little slap happy over here with my 2 hours of sleep I had last night. Anyway, yeah, the box gadgets are very cool. The dovetail feature in there is really nice. They actually go together very beautifully. So you can try those out.
Yeah.
All right,
we've gotten a lot of comments about Kyle's course already. People are saying that it's great. So and there's so much to it.
Yeah.
Right,
so side note on that really quickly.
Yeah.
3, maybe 4 weeks ago, if you go back and look at the thumbnails from the Wednesday night lives, they're on either my channel, Women Who CNC, or on the IDC Woodcraft channel. You can see like videos at the top. There's a bunch of tabs. If you go to the live tab, scroll down, you'll see one, the most recent one with Kyle and Garrett and I, and he actually, like, midway through the video kind of like opens up the course and just shows you like all of the things. It's crazy impressive. So you can use that as a reference if you want to see exactly what is available.
We need to bring Kyle back on. I'll put a link to that video in the description or in the comments.
There we go. All right. So Sam has a great question here. What carving would you recommend for my first 3D project? So I'll tell you what I did. I went to Garrett's channel and he has a picture of a rooster. That's like the thumbnail. This is the first 3D
of all
carve.
things, why the hell did I pick a rooster?
I don't know. I don't know. But I did the rooster because it was a full walkthrough tutorial. It was relatively easy. It was small. It wasn't super time consuming. And I was like mesmerized the whole time, just watching that like Z-axis, like almost like float over the rooster and then come down in the dish. Oh, mesmerizing. But Sam, check that out. Go do the rooster video or pick a different animal, whatever is your spirit animal or speaks to you. But it's kind of a fun little easy project to do. All right. Let's see here.
Julianne, find that link to that video and put it in the thing. She probably already did it. Yeah, she's got her phone up. She did it.
She's like, I got this.
Yeah, I don't need to worry about it. She knows what I'm at. She can read my mind before I'm going to ask it. Mm-hmm. That's when you know you got good people around.
Yep.
That you can depend on.
Yep, absolutely.
Liberty, Adam, Richard and Cammie. I never talk about Richard and Cammie. But you guys don't know this, but I've got 2 other people that help with IDC Woodcraft, and Richard is my insanely good tech guy, and he's the one that takes care of all the downloads, make sure they're all set up properly, and make sure the website is working the way it's supposed to. Cammie is helping with our communications and dealing with the companies and what have you. So and then I've got external other contractors, right? And I'm still looking for a content writer. I need someone who knows how to write conversationally and understands CNC.
Well, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm really good with English and I'm really good with writing and I understand CNCs, but content writing, I don't know.
Content for the website. I just want to I want to have I want about 100 articles written this year.
That's a lot of articles.
Yeah.
I used to write them for my Rise and Shine website, but that's been a hot minute.
Right.
All right, let's knock these people's questions out. We still have 12 left.
Yes,
all right, we have Bio retiring next year, need a new hobby. do you need both V-carve and G-sender to get your CNC to carve / engrave and cut? Looking to get a long mill MK2.
The answer is yes. G-sender is free. V-carve is not.
Yeah.
But yeah, to understand the difference, so this is a new person. First of all, I'm going to recommend that you go to the Ultimate Buyer's Guide as well, and get that. And I believe in the description of this video, I've got a link where you can get a Kickstarter guide. It tells you about what bits you need, the software, or what have you. And it's a PDF download, like 27 pages of information for you. It's not hard reading because it's a lot of pictures too. But so Vectric software does your design work, and then it does your tool path. So it's CAD, which is computer-aided designing, CAM, computer-aided manufacturing, or computer-aided machining. And then it goes through what's called a post-processor that writes the code that your CNC router understands. And then that code is loaded into your control software, and the control software is running your CNC router, and that is G-sender, right? Kate has control software that's in her handheld controller or on her touchpad, right? So
Right.
you'll hear Masso controller. That's running the CNC router. Mark Lindsay has Mach 3 or Mach 4. That's control software as well. So you'll hear some of these different things. But yes, G-sender, it's free. It's the one I recommend. If you get an Arduino-based machine, don't worry about that. If you're getting a long mill, it's going to work.
Alrighty. Let's see here. We have Joseph. Is IDC a web store, or do you have a brick and mortar store?
We are mainly online, but we don't turn people away who like to drop by. And people who drop by it's like, oh my gosh, here they come. Let's shower them with gifts. They get all the swag, and they get to chill out with the girls for a while. And then if they're hanging around too much, we put them to work.
There you go. There you go. All right. Let's see. Matt, when to use the ultra clean cut style V groove bit versus large body style V groove bits?
I guess that's one for me as well, isn't it? Or do you have an answer for that, Kate? I think you can answer it. But...
I mean, personally for me, when I'm doing the CNCing, the ultra clean cut style V groove, like the 60-degree ultra clean, I like to use that when I'm using masking. So like the Aura mask, the blue film that you can put on top of your projects, cuts really beautifully. The only note that I will make when you are running with Aura mask in the ultra sharp 60-degree V-bit, it's a mouthful, is a lot of people will tell you to run your V-bits about 22,000 RPMs. I like to run mine about 19. Between 17 and 19,000 RPMs is kind of that sweet spot when you're working with masking. So when I'm not working with masking, it's kind of one of those things. It's like with CNC, it's everything is, 10 ways from Tuesday. The large body style V-bits, it really depends on what I'm cutting. So if I'm cutting a hardwood, cherry, maple, somewhere in that family, I will use like my 3/4 inch 60-degree V-bit versus my ultra sharp 60-degree V. Yeah, with just like the 1/4 inch shank. I mean, I think they're all 1/4 inch shank at this point, but I will use that bigger bit. And then I also have another 60-degree V. It's 3/4 inch, but it actually has the inserts. So I will use that sometimes as well. But I've noticed, for some reason, the masking does not like the insert blades very well. It tends to tear on me more. You'd think it would be okay, but really kind of tends to act up like a bad kid.
Yeah,
it's a troublemaker.
Yeah. Actually, that was a good answer, Kate. I agree 100% with her. The other thing to consider is the width of the V grooves that you're going to be cutting.
Yes.
If you have a wide if it's going to end up being a wide V groove, your letters are big or something like that, the ultra clean cutter is only a 1/4 inch diameter. It's all solid carbide, right? We can't make it bigger unless I buy bigger carbide rods. So if it'll save you on time if you have big wide V's.
Yeah, that's another really good thing is I was actually editing another video I'm getting ready to put out. It's a bit of a longer one too. It's choosing the right tool for the right project. And essentially, it's like a lot of people like those big welcome signs. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. You can drive through anywhere in the city, in the country, and see those big, huge welcome signs are about 8 inches wide. They're about 3 feet tall. They have that big W. I hate seeing people ride the struggle bus and they're saying my project's taking 12 hours. Well, yes, it's going to take 12 hours if you are going to use a 60-degree or 90-degree V-bit to carve out that big, enormous W. That is when you want to use that big, wide 120-degree or 150-degree. That's not flat, but it's pretty darn. It's getting there.
Yeah.
But those are the type of bits you want to use when you're making those bigger signs. So for those of you who don't know, I was a sign maker previous to kind of running the Women Who CNC group. Been doing that about 8 years, and I worked with Oramask for years. So I've kind of got all the inside info on that. But when it comes to the CNC and the V-bits and the masking, can be a little tricky. But those large wider angles when you're doing bigger carves, bigger letters, make all the difference in the world.
Right. Yes, they do. So Julianne and Liberty are back there putting Jack in the shop to work. They told him that we need a CNC carved broom handle.
Oh, what?
A CNC carved broom handle. So Jack, get really creative. Throw that on your 3D rotary and let's see what you can come up with. All right, we got 9
Lord
left.
All right, let's see. Carl Brady, can we reposition a project after it's been unclamped and moved? Yes.
Can't you handle that? I've never done it. Well, I probably have, but it's a little tricky. But
yeah, so I don't even know. Hold on, let me go grab a big project and I will just show you one that I did. And let me grab a.
I mean, the tiling, that's what they do, right? And you have to reposition the project.
Yeah. So this is my big wavy 3D flag that I did. I use dowels. And obviously because this is almost the size of my CNC bed, well, actually the whole piece is, the flag is not, but I use dowels and actually drilled down into I used a Forstner bit and I drilled all the way down into my actual spoil board for these pegs. And I've got one here. I've got one up here, like up here in this top left corner, down here in the bottom left, and then one down here. So that was a really good way for me to be able to do that, because then I could just lay it back down, align it on all 4 corners, and then I could go back to work. Because obviously, like, think about this thing being on your CNC bed here, like it's laying flush and you're up against the rails. There's no way I was going to get on top of my CNC and paint all of this. So I had to come up with some way to be able to remove this and then put it back on there.
All right. Oh, our brother Greg. Greg is on board. Greg, I just saw the comment there that you're talking to Julianne. She's telling you, or Liberty, she's telling you how to get the IDC database updated. And we are working to get that set up in the auto update feature that they have now. But Greg has sent this to me. And so this is my public thank you to you, Greg, for that. I showed it earlier. If you weren't on board, lit it up. And this is we got to talking back in the office about that and saying, oh, how can we maybe we need to come up with a big LED sign over here.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I will tell you, Liberty and Julianne, you need to get with Deb over in the Women Who CNC group. Girls got some mad skills when it comes to LED lighting, especially on things like that.
Ooh,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, I will. I don't want to shout out her last name here, but we can definitely. I'll let you know who she is. All right, so this is a little bit of a loaded question for the amount of time we have left here. How do you handle pricing to sell for wholesale or retail?
Bring that question next week, and we will talk on that because we got 10 minutes left, and we got 8 questions left.
Yeah, that's a
so-
very big question.
Yeah, and come on to the channel, the IDC Woodcraft channel, or the Women Who CNC channel, and that way you can get some guidance from other people who are watching as well.
Yeah, actually, you and I did an entire series, or not series,
Oh,
part of
yeah.
our mentoring ship. I actually have it. I actually just had it posted on my Women Who CNC YouTube channel, how to price your products, and it's you and I talking about all of that.
Right.
All right, so Mark Tracy has a question. Have you cut with HDPE? If so, your thoughts on this product? Thank you. Mark, I have not. It is on my goal list to cut this year.
Right.
So
HDPE cuts like butter. You need to use an O-flute bit. It is susceptible to UV. All right, so if it's outside, it will degrade relatively quickly. It'll, if you have it sitting in kind of funny way, it can melt in the sun, like warp and what have you. But for inside work, it'll last forever. And it cuts so easy, so easy.
It's almost too easy. You'll wonder like what's happening. It's just
Yeah, what? This is it?
so pretty.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's happening right now?
There are different densities of plastics and grades of this stuff. So ask around on that and get some pointers on that before you go out and buy.
Yeah, the King Color Core is pretty cool. If you want to try something, you can get a sheet for pretty reasonable. All right. Let's see. What bit should I use for polycarbonate? Think acrylic and polymetal. Ooh.
Polycarb, that's just plastic. Thick acrylic, and there's O-flute bits.
That's what I was
So
thinking.
polycarb, sure. Again, it's not something I recommend you cut. Polycarb is well, it's got different grades, but generally it's like plexiglass, right? Well, plexiglass is a brand name. Polycarbonate is what it is, and it doesn't cut well. It melts more, right? So the acrylic is fine to work with. I had a friend, they had a job for Holiday Inn, making literally for a bunch of Holiday Inns. They made these LEDs, Holiday Inn, the big H, that would be in all the lobbies. So if you're ever in a Holiday Inn and you see that big H with the LED lit up, you know that it was made with one of our CNC brothers.
I'll have to check that out next time we're there.
Yeah, but go for it. But that stuff's so much fun to cut, so easy to work with. Go ahead, Kate.
All right, let's see here. I do a lot of V-carve inlays using Garrett's numbers 0.11 and 0.09 to negative 0.02, all good. Garrett, could you do a video on a deeper inlay, say 3/8 deep for a cutting board?
Yeah, I've been asked that one for quite a while, that question. Got the numbers, email me, I'll send you the numbers on it. But that video is on the list, but I can say it's not going to be for a while yet, unfortunately.
Well, maybe that's something I can add to my project list.
Do that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I would highly recommend it because I've gotten a lot of questions over the few years I've been doing this about cutting board inlays.
All right.
So that's one to definitely do.
Let's do it. Can't wait.
All
right. Last but not least, how can I get in touch with other CNCers currently on this chat?
Oh. All right, Kate, let's talk about this afterward. Joanne, make note of this. We'll come up with something. one of the things that I've been wanting to do, and it is on the list for this year, is to build a community forum that we can communicate with each other a little bit easier than Facebook.
Yeah, I think I've said it a few times before. I kind of have a Women Who CNC network over on the womenwhocnc.com. It's a website. There's a map. You can go create yourself an account, and I'm trying to get other CNCers to go sign up for that. Check it out. Put yourself on the map. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Basically just create yourself an account, so then that way if you need to edit any of your info, change, update, delete, you can do that with your own account, and you won't need me to do that. So, but then that way you can go and find other CNCers on the map. So go check that out. Like I said, it's kind of in its infancy. We're still working through a few kinks, but let me know. Shoot me an email or something if you have an issue, and we'll work it out.
And Mark Lindsay said that he is working on that he'll be doing a video for a cutting board inlay as well. So sorry, I kind of backtracked, but
No.
yeah. So go to womenwhocnc.com and you'll, and she's got the map in place. You got it taken care of there.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, wanted to show off one of my cute shirts that's over on the website, and this is just one of our sweatshirts. It says coffee, CNC, sawdust, repeat, and then it has our little Women Who CNC logo on there. Just wanted to share my super cute little sweatshirt for the ladies if you want a little swag to support your CNC community. Love doing that. I love a good CNC sweatshirt, and you get the funniest look from some people when you're out and you wear something like that says CNC. They're just like, I know what that is, but I don't know what that is. And then it's usually the older guys that stop and ask you.
Yeah, that made me think of a question of the day.
What's that?
How many people know what CNC stands for?
Maybe we should have a contest.
Yeah, well, they'll start popping up. Let's see in the comments. We'll make that our last thing, and then we'll pop off. We'll bring Julianne on board, and Liberty. We'll have to get her inside this thing too, since she's hanging out.
Yeah.
I see a chat silence right now.
I know.
They're all probably like Googling it.
Oh, here
they're
goes.
all trying to figure out. They're all just finger pecking it, right?
Jack's first again. First on the comments, first answer. Jack of the shop's got it.
Yep, here they come.
Liberty says she loves her Women Who CNC sweatshirt or t-shirt. Her shirt. I don't know if that. I don't remember which.
I think she's got a sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We need to get Julianne one too.
Well,
I need to make t-shirts too. I have like every type of. We've got cute sweatshirts. We've got 3/4 lengths.
My Women Who CNC sticker.
Yeah,
right
get it, girl. I know. I have mine over
Yeah,
here on my finger.
You see that. Yeah, on her computer, she's got an IDC sticker, and she's got a women.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
All that. My entire notebook.
Got the badger on there.
Yeah, the badger. I got all sorts of stuff. I even got a weird little Pomeranian on a CNC machine right there.
Dude, I love that sticker. That's so cute. I have stickers on my laptop too. I need some new stickers for mine. I was actually just thinking that yesterday. But yeah, my big Women Who CNC logo or sticker is right on the front of my laptop. So every time I open it up, it's like, hello.
Right.
Ellen said, I can't spell that.
Yeah, Julianne and Liberty, they have IDC Woodcraft stickers on their laptops, and they got hers. They got Kate's Women Who CNC, and they slapped it right over top the IDC sticker.
Actually, an interesting note that Liberty, Adam, and I were talking about today. So we officially are adding anybody who sends us stickers from their shop, or if they have their, other stuff, we are adding them to our actual little mini fridge that we have in the shop. So if anybody has any stickers, you want to send them along to us, we'll take them.
Jeez, these guys are making executive decisions without me.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Oh, they gave me the cutest little gift. A Christmas gift. I gotta pull these out. This is so cute. I came in and I was starting to make some coffee. And Liberty said, I'll do that. I'll do that. Here, you got to open this box. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And so this is so cute. It's so delicate. Wait a minute. I got to get these out. Hold on. Hold on. So these are little hand painted figurines. One is me right there. And
Oh
there's a
my
little badger next to me, and then that's Sarah with her
corgi.
dog, yeah, Corky, and the flowers, and then I got my bag of goodies right there. So this is so cute.
Those are freaking adorable.
They are. It's like I have to showcase them with lights and everything up in my apartment and stuff.
Those are adorable. Those are stinking adorable. Oh my gosh. Yes, I know. I need to get a little PO box or something for mine because I need to start putting some stickers on mine. See,
Yeah.
because you guys could be featured right here. You know, right
Yeah.
here. Have your sticker.
Yep.
Have your
Send the
sticker.
stickers. Send the stickers. We'll take them.
See, even if
I
they're
like
like
to do
this.
ideas.
This is he's
Ooh,
pretty cool. But Sam,
I like that.
Annabelle from Uncharted Customs, he actually gave me 2. I got 2 really. Check out these stickers. How cool are these?
Well,
That
those are
is
cool.
neat.
Yeah, but it has a
Yes.
UC in the middle, and so yeah, he sent me some groovy little stickers. I got all kinds of little stickers floating around here, but I need to put some of them up. But yeah, we'll have to get a sticker.
All right. Now,
Mhm.
brothers and sisters, it's time to bid everyone adieu. Say goodnight. And
Yep.
Liberty's
Everybody
gonna
stay
pack.
warm and dry.
Yep.
Amen.
And next week we'll be talking, and it's going to be cold.
Yes, that's okay. We'll be here though.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. Have
All
a
right.
good evening. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Let's see y'all.